Today we're looking at solving equations one step. And before we start, we just need to do a couple of things to talk about inverse or opposite. So what is the opposite of all of these signs? So the opposite of adding, obviously subtracting. The opposite of subtracting is addition. The opposite of timesing is dividing. And the opposite of dividing is timesing. Okay, now we can look a little bit more deep into that. We could go, what is the opposite of plus 5? Is minus 5. What that means is if you plus 5 to something and then minus 5, you end up with the original number. And we could do this with every single one. We could do minus 6. The opposite of minus 6 is plus 6. The opposite of times 2 is divide 2, and so on. Okay, so let's look at an actual solving equation. We've got to use that fact. So our first solving equation is x plus 3 equals 9. And we're trying to find what x is. Now, what I don't want you ever to do is just go, the answer is 6. Because 6 plus 3 is 9. That is the correct answer, but we cannot take shortcuts or it'll come back and haunt you later on. So we're going to use the inverse method, okay? So the first thing you do is you think it as two sections. And to help you with that image, we're going to build a wall, okay? And our aim is to get this x on its own. It could be any letter you like. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to minus 3. Why am I going to minus 3? If I minus 3 on this side of the equation, I must minus 3 on this side. So the aim is to get the letter on its own. 3 minus 3 is x. X equals 9 minus 3 is 6. Okay, let's go to the next page. Let's do something slightly different. Let's do a different letter. T minus 3 equals 10. Again, the same thing. First thing we should always do is build a wall. Please remember always to do that. Always build a wall, and the aim is to get the t on its own. What's stopping the t being on its own? The minus 3. So we do the opposite. We plus 3. So we plus 3 there. So t equals 10 plus 3 is 13. Okay, let's go to the next page. Now this is a little bit more complicated. We're going to write 5x equals 30. Now in this case, we see, first of all, always when you see solving, build yourself a wall. That is so important later on. Now, when you have a look at this, 5x equals 30. Now what they don't say is when nothing's in between a letter and number, it means times. So we're going to do the opposite of times 5, which is divide by 5. Do it to that side, do it to the other. And then x equals 30 divided by 5 is 6. Okay, because that gets rid of the 5, okay? We're almost near the end. Now, this one's really interesting. X over 3 equals, I don't know, 6. Now again, first thing you do, build a wall. What's stopping that x being on its own? The 3, but this 3 means divide by 3. Weirdly, they use this symbol to mean divide in algebra. So we do the opposite of divide 3, which is times 3. Times 3. And x equals 6 times 3 equals 18. It's so important you learn to work vertically. It might seem unusual for you to start with. We are going to do one more to finish off that some people find difficult. Again, we can use any letter we like. We're going to use D this time. Plus 5 equals 9. Now, this is quite an interesting one because you can see the letters on the other side. Now, that doesn't matter because our aim is to get this letter on its own on this side of the wall. So what's stopping it being on its own on this side of the wall? The plus 5. So we've minus 5. Minus 5 from this side. 9 minus 5 is 4. And plus 5 minus 5, again it goes to bits. 4 equals D. That's the same as writing D equals 4. Think of it like a pencil case. You could say there's 4 pens in the pencil case, or you could say the pencil case has 4 pens. It doesn't matter the order you say it. So that's solving equations. It is so important to build a wall. Okay, doesn't matter, you can do it on your head. You have to get this in this steps, and that way you can access the harder solving equations on my videos later.